Welcome to the Cardano Artist Corner. We have as our guests Jon Birch and Jeff Williams, also known as the Artist's Skin. It's a return visit for Jon, who is a renowned and award-winning tattoo artist and graphic designer. And we're getting to know Jeff here for the first time. So Jon and Jeff, welcome to the Vodcast.
Cheers, Alfred. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Alfred. Great to meet you, buddy.
Likewise. Listen, let's start with Jeff. Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about your art and your art career and your business? And I know that you've been an artist for about 40 years. So tell us the story.
So listen, my story is probably similar to a lot of other people. I fell in love with painting and drawing from a young age. My sister used to teach me a lot of things. Then I started playing lots of rugby and chasing lots of girls and having lots of fun. So didn't paint as much during those days. In my very early 20s, I was playing rugby actually over in Australia, went over to New Zealand, had a bus accident, rolled down the side of a mountain where a friend of mine was killed. And we just about managed to survive this accident. And I said to who's now my wife, my girlfriend at the time, hey, listen, when I get home, if I ever get out of this mess, I'm going to do something with my life. So I started painting in my 20s. And then the truth is, couldn't make enough money from being an artist. I was a broke artist. My girlfriend stuck with me, but I was a passionate broke artist. So I got into business simply because I needed to make money. And the ironic thing is, I actually became really successful in business, which I'm very thankful for, which then created a lot of freedom of time for me to be an artist. So that's my journey in a nutshell, really.
Right. And then you sort of specialize in, behind you, you're surrounded by portraits of celebrities. So I guess this is sort of the work of your career, right? Is it?
Yeah. So what happened was, I think it started off when I was about 21 years of age. I was in Canada. I'm 56 years of age now. When I was 21, I was playing rugby in Canada. And I was asked to do a painting of Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky was one of the world's greatest ice hockey players.
Yeah, I remember him, yeah.
Like wedding sort of celebration at the time, created that painting. And then that went on to paintings of Greg Norman at some golf courses in Australia. So for many, many years, I've been painting celebrities, and for the last 40 years, basically.
Right, and you actually get to meet most of them live, or?
Yeah, do you know what? In today's world, a lot of the truth of the matter is a lot of their lives are quite protected by their agents and everything, yes. So there's a mixture. You know what? Some celebrities are really happy to meet with you, and other celebrities like to keep their distance. And I'm completely relaxed about that. So some of them are really live and really lovely, and some are just from photographs.
Right. One last question, because I'm curious before we go to Jon. What is the encounter that most sticks out for you, or maybe one or two people that you met that really made an impression on you, on like a human level?
I think on a real human level, just recently, I had the opportunity to have an evening with Rod Stewart, just 100 of us in the Rosewood Hotel in London. We raised £1 million in one night, by the way, from 100 people. My painting of Rod sold for £23,000. All of the money went to the Teenage Cancer Trust on that evening. And one of the things that I was struck by more than anything, I guess Rod's about 72, 73 now, but his stage performance and his charisma and his just unbelievable professionalism, he was super cool. And he had a couple of vodkas. I was standing with him just by the bar, and the audience were all sitting down, and Rod and I were chatting. And he had a couple of shots of vodka before he went on stage. And I said, it was just seeing that a great artist like Rod could actually get a little bit nervous, and those couple of vodkas just calmed him down a little bit. And then he just went out on stage and absolutely.
And he nailed it. Cool. Wow.
So stuff like that really is cool.
Fantastic.
That Alfred is like Jeff's really humble. He even still criticizes some of his stuff now, which most of artists do. And we were doing something the other day when we were doing a recording, and Jeff was wanted to move his artwork out of the way. I was like, no, that's one of my favorites, But going back to the celebrity thing is where Gareth Bale's me and Jeff have been friends for a couple of years, but we we all busy, we do our own little things, and I hadn't seen Jeff for a while. and I'm on social media now, just scrolling through, and a painting pops up with Gareth Bale, and I'm like, that looks like Jeff's work. Like, so I looked on Facebook, went to message Jeff, and I seen on his Facebook. Obviously with Jeff, he's on social media and stuff, but obviously, you know, he just loves to lock himself in his little art cave and cracks on. So obviously with things like Instagram and so on, but Jeff, I don't think you even understood how big it was on social media. Did you?
I had no idea. I mean, the honest truth is, JP's, you know, digital genius. It's a real joy for me to have him, you know, by my side, me by his side, and everything else, because we really complement each other. I'm very, very grateful for the relationship.
Yeah.
So my kids actually prompt me on little things like, hey, by the way, Dad, Gareth Bale has just put a photograph of you and him on Instagram. And it had something like, my kids are updating me, 750,000 likes in like a day or something.
It's insane.
He actually put on his bio, on his biography, you know, on his bio part of social media, he actually put, obviously, like Jeff, kind of what Jeff does, which is a really nice thing. He gives it to these people, not only to the foundations. He says, look, I'm happy just painting them, being in my back cave, his painting cave, and he gives them the gift and says, look, you create or get the money you can for the charities through donating it. So they played to Gareth Bale. He actually made the effort of putting it out there, and his team to create the value to the charity. And I seen it, and I was just like, wow. So I messaged Jeff, and we, you know, started footsteps in it.
And you know what's really exciting? That's what celebrities can do. You know, celebrities who really dialed in can really make a huge impact. And for me, I love painting. So for those celebrities to then promote that work to their big followings, you know, as a team, we can raise thousands for charity doing that. So that's a lot of fun. It's nice to. Exactly.
So that's something that you probably both have in common, because also, Jon, I remember from the previous interview that you meet quite a few celebrities also in your tattoo shop. Yeah, so we met some months ago. What's new in your life, business-wise and art-wise?
Yeah, so we're still currently on lockdown. So my business still closed, my first business. Like I said, I've got a couple of businesses, but they kind of all impacted at the moment. But I've actually just been concentrating, looking at the Cardano community, just continuously, like yourself and Jeff now as well. We're just constantly trying to see what we can do, how we can impact it, what we can bring to the space. And sort of, we got this NFT thing, but then alongside, we're all in this community of our pools and trying to help each other, same as I am with yourself, you are with us. We're trying to we're kind of all trying to find out further things. So I've actually joined another group as well. I'm doing a little bit of research on some lessons with some crypto traders and so on with the crypto circle with a guy called Amish. He's really good. He just teach me loads of things. I just want to know more about it and just divulging all the information from the market, because that then will help us with the Cardano community, with the project, the communities, the project we've got. So we've got, you know, we're just trying to learn every day, basically something new. And then not only that, we were laughing earlier. It's like, it's actually stopped us from creating as much because we're trying to divulge this information from other areas.
There's so much to learn.
Yeah, of course. And it's something incredible that we're in this new space where we're all kids again, trying to learn something that nobody knows anything about. They're just
discovering it all together. It's kind of ironic, because if it hadn't been for the coronavirus, probably we never would have had time to really go into as much as we are. So in a way, it's almost
like me and Jeff are like, we're getting so far. And then literally something happened last night, and like me and Jeff were like, right, we set up sort of like strategies, don't we, each week to what we can do, what we need to do. Jeff does a lot of the information, I'll do a lot of the delegation towards these things as well. And then like we get it, hit them down the list. And then last night we were like kind of like, right, we meet up tomorrow and we'll do this and that, because we're ready for our pre-release.
Exactly.
We watch some more information, don't we? We just like, it blows our mind. This NFT, it just blows our mind.
Let's talk about that, because Jeff, go ahead.
I think the exciting thing is it's a never-ending journey. You know, the more you dig into the space, the more you fall in love with the community. What I particularly love is the collaboration that goes on within the community, where people sincerely actually want to invest in each other and help and support each other. I love that because I've been on my business journey, and I know that in life, you know, as I feel like a dinosaur in some respects sitting next to JP, right? And because he's a young, dynamic person, I just realized that you're going to get more in life by helping people, reaching out to people, and fulfilling their needs. And that's an exciting journey for me.
But going off that topic as well, is that, you know, when I first read and listened to Charles' podcast, for example, he was saying about, you know, when we look at Catalyst, Daedalus, and you look at all these different things of the project of us aiming to still help each other, but be in individual pools at the same time. Yes. I honestly, you know, when you look at the whole space, I couldn't see how being in our individual groups would allow us to still combine as a whole community. I thought that won't work. I honestly, that's my first initial thoughts.
Yeah.
Now we've got to a point like, you know, from the last meeting, I've always been, and Jeff's a part of it as well, UKADA, my brother-in-law David, is like, I was all about just making sure, like, with using my marketing if I could, and if I could impact, make sure that group was sorted first.
Yep.
As it's gone along, and the cool community, like, it's like with yourself, I like make sure I share all your stuff, you share my stuff. And then we were like, right, we're going to delegate into Alfred's pool as well. So we're going to split it. And David's in the same with his mate in Australia. Yeah. And it's really good how I was wrong. I, you know, it is actually a foundation where people are just trying to help each other. Mm-hmm. And it shows that these things will work. You know, when you look at, when we talk about my favorite things that I've seen in the podcasting community is when you look at how you talk about how we can basically bring everyone on within each other, and, you know, at the same time help ourselves. You know?
Yeah, I think I agree. That's what makes it very special. Okay, so next question: the two of you have now combined in a project that's called MADinART, right?
Yep.
So how did this collaboration come about? I mean, you obviously already knew each other, and then what does the project entail? So Jeff, you want to take this one?
You know what? I mean, I don't know whether I should take it or hand it to JP, because the truth of the matter is, it was Christmas just recently. It was Christmas. I went down to the supermarket, a supermarket that I don't normally go into. I just needed to buy some extra champagne or some beer or something like that, right? Because it's Christmas. And I thought, well, we might as well have a little bit of fun in the lockdown. And I bumped into JP. And you know, sometimes things are just meant to happen, right? And it's just strange how I've just learned to fall in love with that process. Sometimes things really happen for a reason. Yeah. And we bumped into each other. We started talking about crypto, because I've had an interest in the crypto field for quite some time now.
Oh, you guys didn't know each other before?
Yeah.
Well, no, we knew each other, but we bumped into each other as in, hey, hi JP, how you doing? That sort of thing.
We knew each other superficially.
Yes, so we weren't like supersonically close as far.
You knew of each other. Mm-hmm.
We knew of each other, and you know, we were chatting all the time about various ideas. We knew we had a lot of common ground, but we never really connected all the dots. You know, really connected the dots. And it was as if all those dots just got connected. Boom! Instantly, we started chatting about crypto and, you know, family first, and then we started chatting about crypto, what was going on with ADA and everything else in the general communities. And both of us started chatting about the progress of the NFT market straight away, because we both had a keen eye on the NFT market. He was looking at it. I didn't know he was really looking at it. I'd been looking at it quite a long time because I was an artist and I was tracking it. And I knew that I didn't really want to learn all the digital skills required to be in that field. So I was a little bit torn as an artist. Then JP is like on my radar going, well, you know, and I'm thinking,
it's like you have to, like he has to get on it. Like,
this guy can do everything that I can do. I've done some things that he hadn't done. So I thought, oh, I'm going to give him a call. So then, even though we spoke about it, within days, we knew that we were forming a relationship that was going to result in us creating a brand new business, a brand new platform, where we would digitize a bunch of my existing art, work on a bunch of projects together, a whole new digital combination of tattoo art, street art, all sorts of really cool stuff with traditional artwork in there as well, mixed in. And then we knew that we wanted to get that on a platform so that down the road, other artists can learn from our journey and hopefully copy some of the things that we've done and learn from the lessons that we've learned.
Exactly, because one of the questions I was going to ask regarding this is that this is all great, but I mean the Cardano NFT marketplace actually as such, the platform doesn't actually exist yet. They're building it, right?
Yeah.
So how do you envision bringing your products to market?
So we've been in touch, and like a lot of the community are quite tight to me, especially on Twitter and things, and we're all in these groups where we kind of all communicate with each other. Thanks to you as well, Alfred. You know, we've met a lot of people through yourself. You know, being an ambassador really now, and so I've kind of like thrown the question out. We've been doing the research. You mean Jeff's like researching 24/7. I am as well. We kind of like then come together. I've actually tapped into the people that are involved. I've looked at the CNFT, spoke to them guys, spoke to Professor Cardano and all these guys and other people. And then also we've looked at other spaces, which ideally, look, we're so tight and emotionally attached to Cardano. We wanted to only appear in these areas, but we've also found that we were speaking about earlier is that we're against obstacles in starting that area, unfortunately, at the moment, because we can see that there's things
not quite ready yet.
It's not quite ready, and some pieces we have got ready and have been ready for weeks. We're trying to jump over hurdles to get into the space.
But I think it's a good thing. I think we both agree that if we actually go into the existing spaces, learn lots of lessons, walk that walk that other artists are walking right now, some of the inflated gas fees that are going on within those environments, physically experience that ourselves so that we can bring those lessons back. And then eventually and we are really hoping even from this video that people will reach out to us and help us in a collaborative fashion, pull this off in the Cardano space. Hopefully we'll bring these lessons. You know?
Definitely, and we've been speaking to people like from them people I listed earlier, and CNFT, and also Atano as well. And we're looking in Project Catalyst and these different things and idea scales and seeing what is coming and what people are trying to work with. And we'll happily work with them. And like Jeff said, if they come to us and we can do something together, even better. I've spoken to people in IOJK, and you know, these things are coming and they will come. And when they come, they'll be worth the wait because they'll be 10 times what other spaces are using because of gas fees, for one. How they approached greed and all these different things that we do see in other platforms, no matter how much we want to deny them or whatever. Right. But I think these would be ironed out, like everything else in the space. Is that, you know, we are obviously all very tall Cardano, and we want everything to be done in that space. But we know they do exist. There's other platforms. If we want to narrow ourselves into a certain corner, we can do, but obviously we know then we ain't gonna get our art out there. So we want to broaden our horizons in that area. Like Jeff said, we want to see what the problems are, because you only learn from what you fail with. So we want to sort of get out there and fail, mess up, and
then do it on Cardano.
You know, you're talking. You got to remember, like you'll see another interview stuff. This is manual work. You know, Jeff is doing manual work. I'm doing a lot of delegation, doing all the research as well as Jeff is, and digital work. Then that, you know, we're producing all these pieces. We're making some pieces be 3D. We're making some move. We ain't going to show them for a while. We got lots going on.
We're working 17 hours a day and loving it, by the way.
Yeah.
So you know.
So we got to have the right platforms. You're going to look at these, like some of these in the background. Some of these pieces, these physical pieces, go for £30,000, which is, you know, roughly late 30, nearly $40,000. Right. I mean, we don't want to be chucking these up for $1, and then, you know, where these have created a lot of like the charity stuff. You remember some of these have made big money for good causes. So we want to get it right, and when we do it, we want it to be in good fashion.
Make a big impact.
And the big thing to make a difference, and that's what we're doing, and not just the charity work. It's actually going to be for artists, because we have both, from my interview previously with you and Jeff's interview now, is that you can see we've both been artists who haven't been able to get into this space or any space to create money so that we can create art every day. Now I'm fortunate enough to do it now. Jeff is now as also. But we're going to do this too, and we want to help other artists now come to us. So when it comes to the Cardano platforms, that we can not only just be artists, we're actually going to be a platform to contend with, you know?
Right.
So one of the things, Alfred, one of the things that I've noticed on my journey with my artistic friends is honestly and sincerely, most artists just want to be artists, right? You know, people that play music, they want to play music, okay?
Yep.
They don't want to be business people. They
No.
just, you know, they don't want to be playing with the computer. They want to play with the guitar or the keyboards or whatever. And one of the things I think we can bring to the table, and I firmly believe we can bring to the table, is a fun, simple, easy to navigate platform where artists are in a position where they can upload their work very simply, and they can monetize their creative work that they've worked really hard in. And I think the greatest joy will be is when we get some emails and some messages from artists saying, hey, listen, thanks very much for helping to put some money in my pocket, simply because they can then carry on in their creative journey and take care of their families on that journey. And that was very hard for me to do starting out as an artist. I could not make enough money to support my 2 young children. So I needed to do something else, and that was bloody frustrating for me.
Right. Yeah. I
Well,
can imagine.
we're also, on the back of that, we've also spoken is that, you know, like I was saying earlier, like in our groups and our pools and all that, we help each other. Now, when we get to this space where Cardano space at the start with NFTs, like there's going to be a lot of competing in it. But what we want to do is work together with these other platforms within the Cardano, like we do anyway.
Yeah.
And we can work together so that there might be external links from our website and say, look, if you don't like our style of stuff, let's go here, because we want to help artists everywhere. So if they're doing animations or 3D looks, that's great. Do you know what? We're going to list them. We're going to list them on our platform and say, look, we specialize in this. And hopefully they'll do the same. And then that way we're just going to thrive. The whole community will thrive, you know?
That's right. Okay, that brings us to the next subject, because this is all in the spirit of helping each other.
Yeah.
And you guys in both your art, also charity has always played quite a big role, no? I think in your art. So can you tell us a little bit about what you've done in the past and what you're planning to do in the future, and also how you imagine linking that to Cardano?
Yeah, I think one of the things I like about decentralized spaces is in a decentralized space, people come up with ideas and then everybody gets a chance to vote and you know, on that idea, right? Which I think is super cool. So when you collect lots of artists together and you pool all of that creative talent, you know, let's be honest about it. Our feelings about cryptocurrency and digital currency is about changing the way the world works, changing the way the world functions. You know, most people outside of the crypto space, they don't quite understand that. They just think of the dollar signs and everything else. Well, we realize we're making a huge difference to the way the planet works. And I think if we can make a difference by, one, helping the art community go online, put some money in their pocket, I think that's a great thing to do. That makes a difference there immediately. And then two, as a community, say, hey, listen, if there's a couple of almost like having our own catalyst type of environment within our artistic community that says, hey, what do we feel strong about? How can we help people in different ways? And then having that community to vote and participate. So that's going to be a big part of what we do as a brand as well. We'll bring people together, we'll help them run an effective business, help them stay creative, and then equally we'll ask them questions like, hey, how can we make a difference as a community?
Cool. Is there anything you would like to add to that, Jon? Or
like forms of charity, like that we spoke about in a couple of different topics there, they come in different ways, you know, and obviously the big thing is, like, for example, like, you know, we go off the head main man and we talk about Africa, for example, and that's his goal, and like everyone's got a goal. Like Jeff said,
Charles talks a lot about empowering people though as well, isn't he?
Exactly. So it's giving, not so much giving, it's giving the opportunity.
Yeah.
right,
So
exactly, that's the whole point.
Exactly, because, you know,
I like that.
anyone can just say, oh yeah, give this, but I mean, whether they actually give it or whether they follow through is another thing.
Create business models also.
Exactly.
You know, that falls into the category of, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime, you know, so I like that.
No, definitely. And I think that, so without, like, and I don't want to give away too much because we've got plans and we're bringing things to the table that we think other people may not have thought of outside the Cardano community. I'm happy to tell people within the Cardano community, but this is going to go further than that. But, you know, there's different forms of art in different countries, and then they come in all different formats and types. That's what I will say. What we can do then is other people can express their form of art on our platform.
Right.
And it doesn't mean painting.
And by the way,
anything, couldn't it? You know.
By the way, some of the great vibrations about that we've experienced as artists, right? I got goosebumps as I tell you this story. Is when I see some of his tattoo work and what he does on people's bodies, I'm like,
it's amazing.
Oh God, that is like so amazing and so cool. Even tonight before we did this call, he's like, "Oh, Jeff, you should try it." And I'm going, I'm absolutely terrified of putting a needle into somebody and this. Yeah. So I think artists love interacting with other artists. When I was over in South Africa a little while ago, I was just mesmerized by their musicality, the rhythm that was going on in Cape Town, just dancing in the streets. So we are very confident that we can reach out to all sorts of communities and say, hey, bring your voice, bring your canvas to this space, and the world will benefit from seeing you, and you will benefit from having that audience.
Fantastic.
Another thing on top of that is like what attracts me with Jeff's work, like, and what my work obviously attracts Jeff is that, I mean, it's two different things. When I create a digital piece, you remember when I do my tattoos and when I used to paint and so on, I love physical touch. So because you've got textures and these things that you can actually portray. When you do things digitally, they're a little bit harder to do because obviously you've got creating massive amount of layers, but actually giving that physical texture is something else. So we're actually going to be we work on physical paintings too. So I'll create a digital piece. Jeff will have the canvas, and they're like these big ones here. Like if you get closer to that, we'll show a close up of the Purple Rain one. You're like this on each bit of the drops. So what we're saying is that then Jeff can add texture on top of the digital paintings. Then we create an NFT out of that, and then people have got limited numbers from 2 to 100 of that piece that actually exists. So obviously that's number one. So what I'm saying is that these other pieces, it can be artwork that may be carvings, they could be textures of, all sorts.
A million directions.
So other countries do art in different ways. They could be on it could be anything. So we're going to look at all ventures to help everyone get into this space. And that's where we feel a second part of our project is not only show what we do, is to help people to come with us.
Right.
And I think that in itself is a charity,
Okay. So you've given us a pretty good idea of all the things that you sort of have in mind. When can we expect the big announcement? Is it like a big announcement forthcoming?
Yeah, so we've been playing around with this idea back and forth. We've changed a few dates. We've been ready for weeks. Bear in mind, some of these paintings are a couple of years old and already got their own value already. We've updated some of them. Some of them are going to have some digital aspects to them and update as they go along. So you'll be part of a process coming along with the journey with us. So we're going to show from day one is going to be our paintings that are physical that Jeff has painted over a long period of time. We're taking them into a digital space, and then we got new pieces already started working on, which are both of us, like I went back to with the textures on top of digital work. Tonight, actually, after this podcast is released,
you're going to release that video tonight?
Yeah, we're going to release that video tonight. We're going to drop a couple of little clues for you. Sure. It's going to be on a total new market space. And ideally, that's where you're going to find out a few surprises. There's a few iconic figures that are going to be dropped. We got 5 pieces. You can get them as an iconic 5-piece pack, or you can get them singular. And there's only going to be 10 of each.
Right. So a lot of exciting stuff to look forward to.
I think based on one thing that I would say, Alfred, is I'm super excited about the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years in this space, right? This is just the beginning.
It's day one.
The beginning of this journey, right? I'm really pumped about that. And because I know there's going to be an opportunity, to program all of these works, to make them do all sorts of things. While I'm chatting to you, by the way, on the wall behind there's a painting of Tupac, the rapper, behind. And, we're going to be programming that. So like tears will be rolling down his face on certain days of the week.
Oh, really? Cool.
You can go there, get a bit more information about me and Jeff and exactly what we've spoken about today. That's MADinART.io. You can go on the website there. That'll take you to all our social medias too. We're MADinART, obviously on Twitter and also on Instagram. We've got a Facebook page, pretty much everywhere. By the time this comes out, all the new NFT drops will be on there, and you'll see the right path to get maybe your hands on some.
I think on this happy note, we can conclude the interview. So it's great to meet you again, Jon. Great to meet you for the first time, Jeff.
Thanks for having us as well.
Cheers, Alfred.
All the best with the project. Very much looking forward to it coming to fruition, and then let's see where it takes us.
Yeah, there's
Next journey.
balls to come.
Can't wait, Alfred. Take care, buddy.
Take care, guys.